The first thing is wrapping your head around like what is LinkedIn, because I think people they hear the word LinkedIn and they think business platform, and it is, but then they typically go into like sales mode and how do I sell my products and my services, and everything's around like business. And the reality is, guys, LinkedIn is like, it's the largest business networking event ever in the world, literally, and it's going on 24/7, 365. So if you treat it almost like you would showing up to one of these, well, what are you gonna do, right? Potentially you're getting on stage and that would, or around tables, and that would be more of your content, right? You've got a booth, right? Which potentially are your business cards, which are like your profiles. So those need to look good and be built out. And then you've got engagement, you're commenting, you're messaging people, but you're not doing it in a salesy way. I'm not walking up to every one of you guys going, my name's Alex Sheridan, we do video content that builds trust and attracts your dream clients. You guys are like, this is a psycho. Why is he speaking at this? Why is he here, right? He's speaking? So no, you would start conversation, right? And you would engage like a human being. You would tell stories, you would seek, advice, you would ask questions, you would get curious. So that's the first thing that I want everyone just to understand off the bat, that LinkedIn has changed dramatically the past few years for the better. And so when you show up here, you got to keep that in mind. If you show up as, I want to sell stuff and it's all about me, it's going to be a very long and painful road. But if you show up like, hey, I'm here to give, I'm here to provide, I'm here to build relationships and genuinely connect with people, you're going to do really well. So I'd start there. And then tactically, there's kind of three different buckets to LinkedIn. There's the profile, there's engagement, connections, messaging, which LinkedIn has good search capabilities, but Sales Navigator is like next level. If you're using it for sales, you definitely want to get Sales Navigator. And then there's the content. The picture is very basic. So like make sure, and nowadays we've all got smartphones, right? So it's like you can get a good picture. It doesn't need to be the picture from 15 years ago when you look totally different. And then someone hops on a Zoom call with you and they're like, wait, am I in the wrong Zoom call here? How did this happen? I mean, that does happen sometimes. So guys, recent picture within the last year or two.
No glamour shots.
No, it doesn't need to be your family, your three buddies, and you at the party. Like just get a good headshot.
It's funny you say that because I have come across profiles that have three people in the picture and I actually don't know who the person is. I don't know which one of the three they are, right? So
that's not good, right?
Right.
I mean, think of it again, it's your modern day virtual business card, right? So just headshot and then banner.
So let's talk about that banner.
The only thing I ever consider when it comes to LinkedIn social media content is like, where is my customer and how do they think about things and what do they want? It doesn't matter what I want, right? It matters what they want. So they're landing on my page. Maybe they've seen a video, a piece of content. Maybe I've engaged with them. Something has drawn them to my page, potential customer. So as soon as they get on my page, I want them to know what I really do. And not just like, hey, here's my company, but I also want to tell them what's the value prop? What's the one-line value prop that I can walk up and say, hey, Impacts Marketing, we help you use video content to build trust and attract your dream clients. Boom, right? Simple, it's concise, you got it. Probably have some questions, but you kind of get the gist of it. So that's what I recommend in my banner. And then, if you can get an additional picture and make it look a little cool, that's kind of extras. But at minimum, and if you guys don't have a banner and you're like, well, how do I do that? You go to canva.com, which is free, and you type in LinkedIn banner in the top search box, and it's going to give you a bunch of templates. So you don't even need to be like, I'm not a designer, right? So it'll give you a bunch of templates and then you can just pick one and you can fill out the letters and boom, you got a new banner.
So we use the banner differently. So I'm putting up my company logo and I actually have my sentence here. So you put your sentence in graphic form. My one sentence is here. So what are you seeing between the difference people are doing here? Is there a difference? Is there a purpose?
Well, typically what I recommend is you keep your headline somewhat similar between the banner as your headline, like in the text.
You're matching.
I would try to match it as close as you can.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my personal.
So I should take this and put some version of it up here.
Right.
Okay.
Now you could still have the Sutherland Weston logo or still have that on there, but to me that's not the main thing.
Okay, great. What do we put here? What is your advice for what goes into this little summary box?
So the first, because keep in mind when people are seeing your profile in the feed, let's say you've engaged with, you've commented on something or you've posted something, they're not going to see that whole thing, right? They're going to see the first 7 or 8 words. So try to figure out how can you kind of capture attention or create intrigue in the first few words. So instead of like salesperson at X, Y, and Z or founder at X, Y, and Z, put something along the lines of like mine is your video content should be a 24/7 sales rep for your business. Why would I pick something like that? Because I know that's what everyone would love to have, right? Like that would be amazing. You'd love to have a video that just sells for you nonstop. And so it could be a lot of different things. I could swap that for video content that builds trust and credibility. There's a million things you can put there, but again, think about almost like that one line kind of ROI elevator pitch. So a lot of people are like, what do I put in the about me section? And I'm like, it's actually not about me, it's about section. So I would always recommend that what people are like, oh shit. So, and look, there's no one right way to do all of this, guys. So don't think like, oh, I have to do it this way. Just trying to give you some things to think about. So what I think about, again, I put myself in the customer's shoes, always, with everything I do. And so I think about, all right, if they're landing on my page and they want to read more about this, I almost write it out like a text post. Like, hey, your video content should be a 24/7 sales rep for your business. And I'm getting them to think, really? Like that could actually happen for me? And then I get into Accept works 24 hours a day, 365, 365 days a year. How? Well, think about how you acquire customers. And I basically kind of lay out, this is me talking about my thesis on social media and content, right? What I'm trying to do here is just shift their perspective and open up their mind to something that maybe they didn't know existed before. We call this creating demand, right? You can't always wait for people to come to you and understand, all right, I'm ready to buy, let's do this. No, I want to shift people's perspective to say, I wasn't even thinking about doing this, but now that I've seen your stuff, like, yeah, we need to be doing this, right? So that's what I'm doing here. And then I kind of work my way through, and I get to, of course, if you get to the bottom, I get to how we actually work with companies and that kind of stuff.
I just want to point out, those are also not long paragraphs. They're bulleted lists. It's content that's easily readable and understandable versus long paragraphs you have to read.
Great point. That's what we call line breaks. And you use it in content too. So when you're posting content, it really should never be one giant paragraph.
So are you posting content? We're going to go to your post in a second. Are you posting what you consider to be evergreen tips and tools and recommendations on your LinkedIn post?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Which
Yeah, and
in 6 months from now as it is today.
Right, and I think again for me it's doing two core things. One, I'm trying to create demand. So I say there's two kinds of content that you can create for the most part. One is the why content, and that's for me, for example. I need to teach people why they need to be doing video in the first place. If I'm out here like, here's how you make great video, here's how you dominate LinkedIn, and people are like, I don't even know why I should be doing video, so why does this even matter, right? So I gotta kind of explain why, and that creates demand and that shifts people's perspective. But once I start shifting that perspective, now they're gonna look at me like, all right, yeah, dude, I'm listening, you got me convinced I need to be doing video, but how do I do it now? So then I actually teach them how to do it. So I pull those two levers all the time. And I use storytelling, I use edutainment, I use video. There's a lot of different ways to do it. That's kind of my philosophy on content, the why and the how.
So this is Star Wars one. Play a little clip here if I can get it going. This would be an example.
Lord Vader? Our content strategy hasn't brought in any new inbound leads or recruits in the past. I know why, I can fix it. What's wrong? It's the content that we're posting. It's all about us, so it's not having the impact like we thought it would.
Show me.
Okay, well let's just take a look at some content here carefully. So we've got selfies of you destroying planets. Not much value there. Here you're sharing a link to an Empire Times article about destroying planets, but no unique perspective from you though. And this is a short form video of you eating lunch while destroying a planet, of course. Not much purpose behind that.
What do you call it? Edutainment?
Edutainment, yeah. Combining education with entertainment. And if you're going to be around the next several years, like it's going to be a thing. It's going to continue to be very important. It does not mean that you dress up as Darth Vader, though, just to be clear. Like it's not like it needs to go to this extent. But even if you look at what's happening on TikTok, who's here is on TikTok? Okay. Maybe half of you guys. The videos that work there are punchy, they're fast moving, every couple seconds something's changing. Like that's a form of edutainment, right? There's a lot of different ways to do it, but at the end of the day, if we can teach our audience something, inspire them, while also making them smile, laugh, emotionally open them up, it converts really well and it performs really well. So it's a no-brainer in a lot of ways. So my mindset going into this, right, is I know the things, that are kind of funny about Darth Vader posting, which you guys are gonna see this in the big breakout, so you get the first sneak peek, so you can't tell anyone about this, but the stuff that Darth Vader is posting is exactly what my customers before they become customers are posting. It's like, here's us, here's a random selfie, here's a video of us doing nothing that's boring. It's like, and then they're like, why am I not getting results? I'm like, because you're thinking all about yourself, right? It's like, it's all about you and not about the customer. So I could just say that, and I do sometimes I just say, hey, here's why your content's not converting, boom. But this was a unique way, and Halloween was kind of, it's kind of Halloween season. And I figured why not deliver it in a story format that was a little bit edutaining. But yes, this is all about, this is the why right here. I'm not really teaching you a tactical thing necessarily, but I'm getting people to walk away or click away or swipe away and go, creators need to be selfless, consumers are selfish. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I think I see where we're going wrong.
The line we'll use later is we forget what it's like to be the buyer.
Yeah, we create content that we would never consume.
Right.
Yet we think our buyers are going to click in and be like, "Whew, love to see the ad today. Like, what's the promotion today?"
Give me another pop-up.
Nobody
Give me another
does that
pop-up.
when they log on to social media. One thing I don't think enough people do on LinkedIn that works really well is sharing personal stories, sharing customer success stories, right? So usually once every week or two, I'm sharing some type of personal story that I've went through, and it's picture. I do a lot of pictures for those stories, but it can be videos too, right? And so I think when we let people into who we are and our backgrounds, our experiences, why we are the way we are, it really resonates with people. Right? And the customer success stories aren't, hey, like here's Fred, I helped Fred like with his business. It's more sharing Fred's journey, if we go back to like the hero story.
So the question came up, brand page versus personal page. Quick answer on that one.
Personal pages are going to be about 10 times higher engagement and reach than a company page. So I'd almost think of it like, not do the company pages, but I think about the company pages maybe like a booth that you have at the virtual conference. Like, yeah, get it set up, get some relevant content there. If you're running ads, it's going to be more relevant than ever because you're going to use probably your company page for ads. Although now you can run ads on personal pages, so that's completely changed. But your personal profiles, people are here, you guys are all here to connect with other people. Even though we work for companies or we own companies, we're all individual human beings. People want to connect and engage with other human beings. So I would really, really strongly leverage the personal side of things.
We showed 2 videos. Is video the only format that works on LinkedIn?
No, text and picture work really, really well. So I'd be leveraging both of those. And for me, video is a brand builder. Like video builds trust. They get a sense of who you are, your personality, how you speak about things, what you care about. It is the ultimate brand builder. But I would definitely mix in text and picture posts too, because those are just really easy to create and they work really well on LinkedIn.
So let me cross screens for a minute because this is a platform. What did we say last time? 950 million?
950, I think now. It's getting close to $1 billion.
Okay, so 950 million. Of those, was it 350?
350 are active users.
Which means maybe once a month.
Yeah, they're logging on, they're checking, yeah.
And then what's the 3% number?
It's about 3%, 4% that are actively posting content on a weekly basis on LinkedIn. So, what does that mean, guys? Opportunity, because we've got a lot of demand for content, a lot of active users, and not many people posting good quality content consistently. That's why there is. That's true. That's why there's a lot of opportunities still on LinkedIn. If you're like, I haven't really started much, I'm starting from scratch. It's okay. It's still there, right? And the same with TikTok, and I would argue YouTube.
Just a quick video question.
Yeah.
So Carrie, I know your videos, and I follow you and I watch your videos that you do. They're about a minute.
Yep.
Yeah? Yours was longer.
Yeah.
Is there an optimal way to go, or do you vary it? Like,
I would, typically for short form videos, I would go 30 seconds to 90 seconds in most cases.
Okay.
But this is an edutainment video. I probably got longer because there's more of a story. It's a little bit more entertaining. I would typically go around 30 to 90 seconds. But the answer, your video can be as long as it needs to be for you to get the message across that you need to get across. And it needs to be as short as it needs to be for you to get the message across too. I think what people don't want to watch is a 3-minute video where they're like, get to the point, dude. You know, like this should have been 20 seconds, you know? So people ask me why I do vertical on LinkedIn. Well, because, 65% of users are on their mobile anyways, so vertical is good for that. But also, I don't just create content for LinkedIn. To Carrie's point, I create content in general, and then I figure out how I distribute that content to the different platforms. So that same video could go to LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels. We've got a very unique opportunity in the world of social media right now, where you can create one short form video, and you can post it to 4 or 5 different platforms, and it has the opportunity to go mini viral or viral. That was not the case 3 years ago. Yeah, I mean, I would say if you overanalyze one video, you're gonna crush yourself. It is a volume game, not to say you compromise on quality, but you've got to get in volume and repetition over time, and momentum builds, right? So I have people come to me like, I'm really struggling with TikTok. I'm like, all right, let's see your page. They've posted 7 videos. I'm like, you're not even like, you're a baby that's like barely crawling yet, right? You haven't even given it enough chance for it to work. And the only way you're gonna figure out what works and the trends and what works when you do this but doesn't work when you do that is by putting it out there. So I think some people, they put a few videos out there like, it didn't work for me. It's like, no, it just didn't work because your videos weren't that good because you were 5 videos in. And my videos sucked when I was 5 videos in. They're terrible, and you can go look at them. So you gotta have the repetition. That's how you learn. And over time, the bar moves up for your content, right? Because the algorithms and your audience begin to trust you more. So when you first start putting out TikToks, you maybe get 50 views as your bar. And then eventually it's 100, 200, 300. And then every video you you post gets 500 or more. And the same with LinkedIn. It might start off with 2 likes or 3 likes, and then it's 10, 15, 20, because you build trust and affinity with your audience. And then the algorithm says, this person's been putting out good content. We trust to show it to people and not have it be terrible. And there's the strategy, like high level stuff, and then there's the tactical stuff. Like, as funny as it sounds, you have to understand and get good at creating good content. Like, it's a fundamental thing that you have to learn how to do. On LinkedIn, sure, there's the video side, but on LinkedIn, I would say copy is really important. Understanding how to write that first line and have it be a hook, right? You have to intentionally think about that. You can't just start randomly typing. So, get good at the fundamentals when it comes to videos. How do you open up the first couple seconds of a video? Because that's going to make or break your performance. It's probably 80% of your performance. If you don't grab the attention, they are gone. It's not that our attention spans are gone. We'll still consume a 3-hour podcast, watch Oppenheimer for 57 hours. But what the thing is nowadays, guys, is we have options. So it's like, this video isn't doing it for me. No freaking worries. Keep in mind too, guys, on LinkedIn, most of the customers that you attract on LinkedIn are not the people that engage with your content. They're the lurkers. But the people that engage with your content help your content get out to the lurkers. So you need to be active on the platform. The platform will never work for you if you just post content and walk away. It would be like me walking in here and dropping a flyer and being like, here's my company, guys, peace, and walking out. You guys would be like, the dude didn't say anything about, like, he didn't come shake hands, he didn't get to know anyone. Like, I just was like, here you go, I'm out,
But then be like, no one engaged. No one gave me this.
Yeah, they'd be like, this is a bullshit conference. Yeah. Like, no, you're bullshit.
I get that all the time.
Yeah.
Sales Navigator, one of the questions was, how do you search inside Sales Navigator?
So 2 quick things just to help you understand this, because if you're recruiting or in sales and your customers are on LinkedIn, this is a gold mine, like 100%. So the leads are people, so we can search by individuals. And so we'd want to look at like job titles, industries, have they changed jobs? Are they posting content? Oh, see all filters here. So this is really cool, right? So if a company's like, I don't know if my clients are on LinkedIn, I'm like, well, let's just do a quick look here. So we pull up job title, geography, all that good stuff. And then I can even tell them, hey, we've got 15,000 people that have posted content in the last 30 days. So not only are your people there, they're posting content themselves, which is great, because then you can go and engage with their content, start to build relationships, warm it up, and then when you send that message or that video DM, they actually know who you are. So that's the lead side of things. If we go to account, some of you guys may be hunting down these accounts. Now what's interesting is, like, I can go in and say, all right, I want to work with companies that, companies, right? So I want to say, hey, I only want to work with companies that have at least 200 people and 500,000, that's fine, cool. And now I can say annual revenue. Hey, it only makes sense for us to work with companies that do between 10 and 100 million. That's our sweet spot, right? And I can drill down my more opportunities. But you can see how this gets pretty crazy. And then you start drilling into once we get into a company, it's gonna break down.
It tells you if they're adding jobs.
Yeah, job titles, headcount, department headcount growth. I mean, there's some insane knowledge here.
Like, anything that you wanted to know that we didn't cover, you guys threw a bunch out, but we're trying to throw it back at you.
I have it, might be quick. So the difference between like an impression and a reaction. And so when you talk about paying attention, like I recently had a post and I was like, well, I didn't get very much reaction, but I thought it was a good post, but it had a lot of impressions. Is that?
Got it.
Yeah, so impressions are how many times they showed it in the feed. And then you've got views, which are how many times somebody actually sat on it and viewed it. For a video, it's 3 seconds or more. And then you've got engagement, which is likes, comments, shares, spending time intentionally engaging on the platform, right? I think you have to be able to do that, right? And ideally, some of it is with your ideal clients, because you want to start getting them in your feed and you in their feed. And then some of it is just active creators. Because again, those people, when I comment on Carrie and then Carrie sees my post, he's going to comment on mine because I just commented on his. We may not even have a technical agreement, but he's just going to see my stuff and engage with it. And that again brings my content to the feed to more people. More people see it, and then you start booking calls and setting up opportunities.
Helpful?
Yeah.
Good.
All right, good. I'll get this.
Thanks, guys.
You got good questions. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
You got real